no, Salva would never want Dr. Machar to be convicted because he needs him. Community of will, they're a large community, but because they're destroyed.
But it's keep dragging this issue on and on without giving any major conclusion.
There's no checks and balance. In South Sudan right now, we have not had a strong institution such as a judicial system. That's one thing that's been missing for since the independence, pretty much, because when the Constitution was drafted, it was more drafted in favor of President Salva Kiir, as himself being one of the witnesses in that regard. So at the moment, we saw what's happening with the ongoing court hearing for Dr. Riek Machar, who's suspended and still under house arrest, along with some of the members of the SPLMIO, including Potkang, the Minister of Petroleum, and also Gabriel Doblan. So South Sudanese have disengaged, because when the court hearing was actually announced, many people have really had hope that, wow, South Sudan now we're actually having a judicial hearing, because for years a lot of people get arrested. Citizens can arrest themselves. The SPLM elites can arrest people that they do not like, and there will never be a hearing. You would be in prison, wherever they put you in, and your family have no power and nobody there to testify on your behalf. So when this was announced, it really did open our eyes, and even myself, I wanted to see what's going to happen. But for those of us that are aware of the dictatorship character, we know that this was another maneuver President Salva Kiir using to prolong the establishment of the hybrid court. For example, if this does work, and they be able to put Dr. Riek Machar on trial and also convict him, this will put fear in others, and at the same time, it will prolong the establishment of the hybrid court, which now there's a struggle, because Dr. Machar and Salva, they are both protected within the peace agreement signed in 2018. So, and that's one of the argument that's been made by Dr. Machar, our legal team, is that he is actually, there's an immunity for him being a vice president, and that's why President Salva Kiir suspended him first, so that they can be able to have a window. So now South Sudanese are disappointed, because the court hearing is prolonging, and at the same time, President Salva Kiir is buying time. He's buying time for his own strategy to consolidate power, and this is something that we're seeing day by day. Would he convict Dr. Machar? No. Salva would never want Dr. Machar to be convicted, because he needs him. Had he already convicted Dr. Machar, Bull Mill would have rose to power, and eventually Bull Mill was never to be in that position to work with President Salva Kiir or to honor him. He wanted power, and that's what got him into the situation that he's in now, because he rose so fast, and now he's down. So the Nasir incident, as we can see, Dr. Machar himself, yes, he is the leader of the SPLMIO, but we can see that there was tension built up prior to what happened in March. Even myself, in 2021, I was around Nasir area. So there was tension still with the FSPDF. So true justice would not come from President Salva Kiir, who is actually as a court hearing and waiting for him for crimes that have been committed since the 2013 incident. So the Nasir incident does need to be judged fairly. It is not only the SPLMIO that were the actors. The SSPDF also play a major role in this. Why wasn't there's any de-escalation prior to this? Dr. Machar has issued a statement, but the government did not issue a statement to de-escalate the situation. All we heard was that there's a team that need to be exchanged, which would have been General Mayudak being rotated. There was a rotation in place, but that rotation did not come in a way that the citizen agreed with the government, and this is a violation on the government side because there was already an agreement. There's going to be rotation, although the unified forces have not been graduated. The citizens were like, okay, as long you rotate these soldiers under General Major Duck, we will probably work and have a dialogue. That did not happen. The citizens already had a message that the Agulek and the Abishuk, who are white army in their area, consider a white army, not a national platform, a national army. So that itself already signaled a red flag for the citizens in Nasir. So there has to be a fair judgment on that. Only us we can see that, international can see that, international community can see that. But in the eyes of Selfa, this is a way for him to consolidate power, put fear, intimidation into those that are around him, so that now he can be able to look into, all right, if I got my rivals, then there's some people out there that I need to get in the meantime.
Yeah, why is always that there is a mixed up between SPLM-IO and the White Army? Because the Nasser incident is deemed like it's carrying out by the White Army mostly, and then when it comes to this trial right now, it is that the Riek Machar just ordered his forces, which is the SPLM-IO forces, to conduct the operation. That's why now he's in trial. Why is it a mixed up between the White Army and the SPLM-IO troops? And for the peoples that are outside of the country or that does not know the issue, how could they identify the difference?
The issue is that SPLM-IO is in the territory of the White Army, who are the Civil Defense Force. This is a historical name, White Army. Back in the British colonies, the civil population defend themselves against colonization, their rivals, and it rose to that level that they do have institution. They work together. They know how to have a military formation, and the biggest issue is that the SPLM-IO is in the land where the White Army reside. The same thing with SSPDF. They're in the same land with the White Army. But the White Army historically have been known aligning with Dr. Riek Machar. And to make matter worse, they're Nuer themselves. So the government is seeing that they're Nuer. This is the same thing as Dr. Riek Machar in many of the events that had happened in South Sudan, and which has created a lot of bloodshed. So it's hard to differentiate when they living together. They're connected. They're related. So that makes it so much easier for government to just point out and use them as a scapegoat as he wants, because these were target. The White Army were target, but it's a way of creating a provocative situation towards Dr. Riek Machar. So this could have been prevented if there was a way to that Selfa would have saw it, but agenda was already in place, and the White Army took the bait, and that was one of the things that we saw in the letter that was written by Dr. Riek himself, that he tried to de-escalate the situation, but he was ignored, and this backfires so many ways. So the mix-up, it's ethnicity due to Dr. Riek's historical background, that he uses the White Army in many of the events that happen, and the government was able to just point it out, and even had videos where some of the white army and some of they were chatting "Viva, Viva, Viva." So that itself was something that the government easily picked up and said, you know what, these are the same people. They're all supporting each other. So it's hard to differentiate when all of them are in the same place.
Yeah, so let's come to the last session, the last hearing on November 28. It is said that the people who are giving testimony themselves, they approved that. Like, let me read it. During the special tribunal in Juba on Friday, the defense team cross-examined the prosecution first witness, a military investigator who conceded there was no audio or video proof that Dr. Riek Machar ordered the killing of Major General David Majordak. So why is the drag up of all these cases? So since we've seen the court has been adjourned every now and then, adjourned with no concrete solution or no concrete reason to those hearings, and there's no tangible evidence that link Machar and the other accused to the alleged crimes. So why is the court is keep dragging this issue on and on without giving any major conclusion?
Yeah, I mean, the court hearing it's a fail from the start, because when you look at the judges, they're appointed by the government, and also those that are around Bullman. So this was failed in the beginning, and they try to. I bet I what we see now, they underestimate Dr. Riek, not knowing that he was already having a legal team. So this was failed in the beginning because we do not have a independent judicial system. There's no checks and balance. So at the moment, this is more of a political motivation case. Is no longer about creating or actually serving the tangible case that South Sudanese need adjusted. President Salva and Dr. Riek would be tried in an international court, because that's what the agreement said. So we see so many adjourn to go create more ways to buy more time, because now they know that they have failed. And I believe that's one of the reasons that Dr. Benjamin Bullman was sacked by President. The plan was to convict Dr. Riek Machar. This was Benjamin Bullman's idea. President, he didn't realize President Salva does not want to get to that extent to convict Dr. Machar, because he knows the consequences that would happen at the end. So there's no surprising. I believe that there's going to be more adjourns until we just hear one day it said the court has been dismissed or the case has been dismissed, and then he'll come up with something. But what we believe now that it's coming up is that President Salva wants to use this as a way to go after his rivals, because now there's tensions even with his loyal members and the elites. They're all rising now against him, and he sees that this will be the only way to give him excuse to intimidate, put fear in those that are around him. So the court itself should be dismissed. It's an embarrassment for our country as a nation, because first it's held in a wedding venue. That's embarrassing. We do not have a structure that could host such a case. A high-profile case like that should not be in a place where the wedding is taking place. So this is an embarrassment, and I believe the government is afraid to admit that this has brought more humiliation towards them than Dr. Riek. Of course, we want true justice where our leaders will be held accountable, and that including Dr. Riek and President Salva. But this was another way of embarrassing our nation.
Yeah. So if you had to make your prediction, I made a video last 2 weeks about this case. So I put 4 issues that Machar executed and life sentence by June 2026. B, conviction but exile deal. C, acquittal under pressure. Or D, trial suspended indefinitely. If you have to choose, which one would you choose and why?
I agree with the last one. I believe that eventually the trial will be acquitted, and Dr. Machar will be free, and then as well as his co accusers. Um, President Salva Kiir is unpredictable. We cannot be so sure, but one thing we're sure that he needs Dr. Riek, and he's been using him for many years, have a scapegoat, because that in a dictatorship worldview, they do need certain people to hold on, to leverage power, and also to go after their rivals. So I believe that the court will be dismissed. At the moment, if they dismiss the case against Dr. Machar, at first, they're not going to, they probably might hold back Minister of Petroleum, Potgang, and Gabriel Doblam, and others in a way to see the reaction of the public. But at the moment, Potgang and Gabriel Doblam are no use to President Kiir, because they do not have that much influence like a heavyweight like Dr. Riek. He needs Dr. Riek around. There were many people has thought that this would have been ended a long time ago, but President Salva Kiir will not harm Dr. Riek. I believe that he's going to collaborate with them in a way to consolidate power, because he does have other stuff behind doors, such as right now he wants his daughter Adu to run things behind doors and win over people that he feels are a threat. And there are communities that he completely destroyed that will never challenge them. For example, like Lake State. Lake State is completely destroyed by President Salva Kiir, because some of the diplomats, some of the intellectuals are no longer there in Lake State. And the only thing he has now is somebody like General Ring. The same thing with those from Northern Bargazal. They no longer have an influence because he completely destroyed their elites. Even at the moment, the community of Awil, they're a large community, but because they're destroyed, Kiir has been able to leverage power. So that's why I agree with the last point that Dr. Machar will eventually be acquitted, because Kiir does need him to survive.